welcome to a new vlog and trip report, and today we're traveling with the tram of Budapest, and here on the map you can see our route today. Also, this video is part of my adventurous journey to go back to my ship, which I was supposed to meet here in Budapest, and I was arriving in the last video at the station of Kelenföld with the intercity traveling alongside Lake Balaton, and now I'm taking a tram from the Kelenföld station to go to my hotel. We are using line number 19. We're now going directly to the bank of the Danube. I chose a hotel which was pretty close to where my ship was supposed to dock. First tram that we are using in this video is a CAF Orbus, the newest tram model in Budapest. There are two versions. This is the shorter version, but actually it's 34 meters long, so quite long, but the longer version is 56 meters long. When it was ordered, it was the longest tram in the world. But now we're on the shorter version, heading to the bank of the Danube. In this video we will see 2 days, so for this first part of the video we are just going to my hotel, and then we continue tomorrow with some more trams. Here we are reaching the Danube River, close to the Gellert Spa and the Freedom Bridge, which we can see here in the background, which is one of the bridges over the Danube. Most of these bridges in Budapest are very beautiful, and this Freedom Bridge is one of the most beautiful ones. We are continuing on this side of the Danube. The line 19 together with the line 41 are very interesting for tourists, as it is following the Danube River for quite a long time, and you have some fantastic views of the main sides of Budapest. On this side you can see the sides on the Pest side, but there's also a tram line on the other side where you can see the sides of the Buda side. Here we can see the Chain Bridge, which is the most famous bridge of Budapest, and with the tram we are going under it in a tunnel with a very tight turn in the tunnel, but we will see this later on. And then my tram suddenly stopped because there was a broken tram in front of it, but that was almost in front of my hotel, so I just walked the last few meters, and here you can see my beautiful hotel room in the Boutique Hotel Victoria. And the best part about this room is the view. This is the most beautiful hotel room view I've ever had in my life. Just look at this fantastic view. I was sitting by the window for a couple of hours just watching the ships sailing past, enjoy the sights. It was just incredibly beautiful, even though the parliament was not illuminated. Usually also the parliament is illuminated, and then it's even more beautiful. The next morning I woke up with this fantastic view. Here you can see the parliament. Also during the day the view is fantastic. The hotel itself was not that expensive. It was actually, compared to other hotels in Budapest, quite cheap. So the value for money is excellent. I can highly recommend staying in the Boutique Hotel Victoria in Budapest. Here we can see a hydrofoil which is going to Esztergom, and I'm hoping to be traveling in one of those hydrofoils in the next year if everything is going to plan. But then it was time to leave my hotel room. We are continuing now with a Tatra. It's a Tatra T5C5, the most common type of tram in Budapest. And here we are again in the tunnel under the Chain Bridge, and now we can see how tight the curve in this tunnel actually is. It's perfectly visible if you're traveling in a Tatra tram. I was walking back one station so that I can get the full length of the line, as I missed a couple of meters yesterday due to the broken tram, but now we can see the whole line. We're continuing on the same line like yesterday till the end of the line. Here we can see my amazing hotel once again. Also this ship, which you can see here, Grand Jewels Boat Hotel, is actually a hotel, but it seems like it's closed. I couldn't find any information on it. I wanted to stay on it as well once in the future, but currently there are almost no information about this hotel, so I'm unfortunately thinking that it is closed. So maybe it will reopen in the future, and then there will be a video about this hotel boat as well. We're now taking the Tatra tram to the end of the line, and then we are changing for line number 1, one of the most frequented lines. Here we can see the interior of the Tatra, and at the end of the line we are changing for yet another Tatra, and here we can listen to the sound. We're now on the line 1, and line 1 is operated by 3 Tatras coupled together or a long CAF Urbis. In this case, I was taking yet another Tatra, which is not accessible. If you see a Tatra on line 1, just wait for the next one and it should be a Urbis then. I'm now going to the other side of the Danube. There we're continuing with the line number 14 for a short moment to the Lehelter. Then I was walking to the Newgati station. And as you can see, I'm not going to my ship at the moment, and that is because there were again a change of plans, and now my ship was supposed to be arriving in the afternoon, so I had a lot of time to spend in Budapest, and that's why I'm traveling through the city with the tram. Here I'm now changing for line 14, going to Lehelter. From there I walk to the Newgati station. And at this Newgati station there is one of the most beautiful McDonald's in the world, which is also quite modern McDonald's, as you can see here. Quite interesting restaurant. And there I took a very short lunch break, and then I continued with the line 4 or 6. Those lines are going together here at this part. And they are the only 2 lines that are operated by the Siemens Combino. Quite common type of tram in Europe. Here in Budapest you will only find them at lines 4 and 6. We're now heading for the main station of Budapest. This we have to change for the metro in a second. Here we are going past the Café New York, which is a very famous cafe. As you can see, a lot of people waiting in front of it to go inside. It's very, very famous, but it's not my destination today. Here you can see the Combinos, and now I'm taking the metro just for one station to go to the main station, Budapest Keleti. Here we can see this impressive station. This is a station where I should have been arriving yesterday if I would have been taking the direct train from Vienna. But from here we are continuing now with line number 24, and it is operated by a Duvac TW6000, which is coming from the German city of Hanover. And this is a high floor tram, even though in Budapest there are no high floor stations, so it's also not accessible. You always have to use the stairs. And I was choosing this line because I was trying to travel with all different types of trams in this video. And there is a quite good Wikipedia page, but I would recommend checking for the German one, because there you have a list of all the trams, and on the right side you can see Linien, which means lines, and there you can see on which lines they are used. As far as I saw, it's not as good in the English version on the Wikipedia page, so that's why I would recommend checking the German one. You don't need to understand what's written there, but you can just easily see which tram is used on which lines, because in Budapest there are around 40 tram lines, so it's a huge network with a lot of different trains, and a very special train is the Ganz. There are 2 types of the Ganz, the CSMG or the KCSV. Basically they're the same, just that the KCSV is the modernized version. It's the more common version now, and we are also traveling on that modernized version, but you will find both types in Budapest, but you will find them only in Budapest. They have been exclusively built for the city of Budapest, and you won't find them in any other city. We are now traveling on another very interesting tram line, which is the line number 2, because this is the tram line that is going on the other side of the Danube. From this tram you can see landmarks such as the castle and the castle hill with all its sides. So also this tram line is very interesting for tourists. It's also going past almost all docking locations for river cruise ships. Here you can see a river cruise ship in the background, the Victoria of Nico Cruises. And if you're arriving by ship, there's a high chance that you can use line number 2 to go, for example, to the Parliament. Here we can see the castle in the background, and a bit further in the back you can also see the Fisherman's Bastion and Matthias Church. So as you can see, also line number 2 is a very scenic tram line. Highly recommend taking this tram. By the way, this is the last video that will be filmed with my phone. As you probably saw in the last videos, the quality is a bit different, and that's because my GoPro was still on the ship that I'm waiting for. That's why I had to film with the phone. And this whole situation was caused by the high waters, and just in the last shot you saw that this tunnel was also flooded. So this video was done just a couple of days after the peak of the high water went through Budapest. There were also a few tram lines underwater, but now the level is going down. That's why the ship is now able to sail again. Of course, shipping on Danube was completely stopped. That's the whole reason for my adventure, why the ship was delayed more and more. This was of course because the Danube was still closed. Now we're coming to another highlight, and this is of course the Parliament. The Parliament is probably the most famous site in Budapest, and you can perfectly see it from line number 2. We're going around it so you can see it from 3 different sides. Of course you can also visit the Parliament, but this you need to plan ahead. But if you just want to see it, tram line number 2 is perfect for this. Also because you can open the windows in the Ganz tram, which is of course not possible in more modern trams, but here, this tram, it is still possible to open the windows. And as you can see, you get a lot of beautiful angles to see the Parliament. Shortly after the Parliament, we are reaching the end of the line, and I'm changing again for line 4 and 6. So we're continuing with the Siemens Combino, crossing the Danube again, going to the end of the line. And there I'm changing for the metro once again, heading to the station Déli, just to be able to travel on the whole length of the line. And then I'm going back to Batiani Ter, which is where my ship was then finally arriving, and I was finally able to go back on board. But that doesn't mean that the adventure is ending now, but more about what happened next will be the topic of the next video. Here you can see the interior of the metro, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video.